So this week we sit with the more deeper layers of how do we actually integrate and use the new capacity of awareness to draw with our senses and with our awareness the dark body. How do we actually digest the information and filter it out again through our humanness? So I wanted to just mention again the factors of nervous system ease, dark matter, and this aspect of accessing different layers and dimensions of reality through our practice, and the somatic descent, which means making the body becomes sacred whilst we are engaged with this practice. So the first imperative that I've ingrained upon on this course is the calming of the body and the calming of the nervous system. Ultimately, we want to be in a meditative state, yet still able to just feel the ripples of whatever is occurring through us in the room, in the environment, wherever we're at, so that we remain alive and aware, even though the body or the mind can be asleep, in almost sleep-like state of relaxation. So we're going down these brain waves up until a point where everything slows down, including your heartbeat and your breath. And to catch that link to gravitational waves when we enter the fields of gravitation, even within ourselves, those waves are long. They are kilometers in their crests and their frequencies. So it's different from energetic transmissions and the auras that we feel around people. This is something that we can feel from afar, and this is something that will ultimately pull us and attract, well, what would be the right word? It'll just curve our time and space toward those beings who possess depth, who possess gravity. So I want to anchor this text as like this vocabulary to your understanding of what actually holds bigger constellations together. Electricity, magnetism, that's a great energy to like pull us together on a short term, but once that tension and once that polarity diffuses, happens in relationships but happens in nature, things fall apart and things decay and things lose their charge, whereas gravity tends to grow. So the more we become close with beings around us that have this capacity to be in their dark body, to be and move with a certain slowness, permeate through things instead of surface friction, attract and diffuse, we start to notice that we're doing the same thing. We're working for the same cause. So ultimately, when I start to recognize humans with the dark body capacity, it means that there's less self, there's less selfishness, there's less ego involved. It is like being in that state of echo chamber. There's an ability to listen, and there's an ability to respond from that place of weighing us toward a cause. And we multiply that cause by the more we stick together. We can direct. Ultimately, I want us to be able to direct the cause of history by anchoring with each other. And there's a beautiful image of galaxies together in this week's introduction board, because galaxies tend to do that. They come toward each other. Stars, circulate bigger holes, and they really respond to the galactic cycles, but they don't really attract each other in that sense. If two stars collide, they explode. Whereas when galaxies meet each other, they merge together. Like, it's not an explosion, it is a coming together in that dark realm. So calming the body and moving with slowness and moving with our kind of gravitational center in the world will just give us that point which toward which people can gravitate toward. So this week we're really working on staying still and coming into stillness in ourselves until something really moves us, something really subtle, something or someone that comes into the field, and we literally can feel that really slight tilt toward approaching or coming towards someone. It's a different sensation than just attraction towards someone. So I'd love you to experiment this in public if you can, in a library or something where like energy is still quite settled and quite quiet and quite slow, and you can start to feel interested in beings who have gravity, who have depth. I've given you some simple and yet profound tools, and ultimately it just boils down to moving with the resonance toward whatever the situation that we're in is. One, rhythm, heartbeat. That's the ultimate pulse that we're surrounded by in the womb. And we learn how to synchronize our frequencies toward that. I'm sure you've heard of heartbeats and heart resonances and heart maths and all the ways that we try to align with our heartbeat. So one thing is, yes, we can listen to the beat around us, but also we become the influencers of that beat and of that rhythm. So with your conscious breath, you can start to shift the room. The other part is the breath, the melody. The pulse is more of a step and a rhythm and a masculine element of inserting this vertical capacity. And the other thing is the phrase in the length of how things will happen. And this comes more into that stretching of time in a beautiful poetic way. I will speak a bit more into these this week and really cram you with beautiful concepts to explore and to move with. And yet I want to go just another level deeper. Maybe you've noticed already the week 3 that we gathered was a lot about shedding trauma. So when we drop deep into the body and slow down, the first layer is the body shedding its trauma, speaking its own story, and releasing cellular memory patterns. So I've had a lot of experiences of becoming a child again, falling asleep, being able to just weep, sorrows that were still locked in my body. And the second layer that happens is the body actually reveals its authenticity and becomes the guardian and the guide to our journey through life. There's a beautiful book from Reggie Ray called Somatic Descent, which really discusses the body as the soma, the sacred vessel, the sacred vehicle to life that we have, that has all the capacity to tell us how to live and react and respond to life. And through this, through integrating this, through playing with this, we start to receive more of the planetary energies and move with whatever it is that feels that it is in that current of the universal pulse. This is a really beautiful feeling to be in, and it might take that 10 minutes to access that point. So I'll give you a 10-minute meditation on just calming the nervous system, entering that state of receptivity and quiet and awareness, so that you can just continue your day from that place again. This also allows us to come into the creative space of just, this element just appeared out of nowhere, and now I'm going to take us on a journey. If you become scared of what might come through, or you feel scared of not being in the body, or that, like spirits are going to possess me, contact me. But also, I just want to assure you that what we're doing, especially with this piece on drawing the soul and the body together, is anchoring ourselves into the cellular self, so that nothing and no one can use the body that we have. The body owns, like the soul is coming in and being at home in it. The body feels not abandoned by intense situations, but actually being the intelligence that takes us away and towards situations that we actually thrive in. So ultimately, it is the fear itself that blocks us from receiving clear memories or clear echoes from the rest of the universe. I'll make a part 2 on the inspiration and exploration of this week.